Hey guys, we are back again in my city of Springvalley. Today, I'm focusing on the decoration and modification of my cargo airport hub that I introduced here in the last episode, or by the end of last episode. As you can see, it's a very reduced, I would say almost basic layout for this cargo air hub, but I will have to modify it ever so slightly, and I want to change a couple of roads and things like that just to make sure that it's more, it fits better into the overall look and feel of my city. And I also want to improve some of the local connections here, for example, take this road that's leading up here. So maybe I'm going to introduce one direct connection to the hub over there as well. And I also have to take care of my train lines because they currently just cross the industrial road that I introduced here, just to make sure that the traffic flow is a little bit better than it is currently. I think right now I'm still at the stage where I'm not having that much traffic coming to this cargo airport or leaving, but I can imagine that as soon as my industrial zones grow, that this will significantly change. And for that reason, I just want to make sure that I'm preparing everything and making it kind of more future proof than it is right now. So to speed things up for you, just want to give you a quick introduction. I'm Ben. I'm working on Springvalley since now it's the 33rd episode right now. And I have a city of almost 70k citizens at the moment. I have quite a huge downtown-y area. My most recent residential, commercial and office build is basically that peninsula here, including the park surrounding the whole thing alongside the river. I just decorated it very, very roughly, and now I will be focusing more on my industrial zones, and I also want to provide them some benefits when it comes to connectivity and things like that. So let's get started. Let's dive right into it, and I'll be back for you in a couple of minutes as soon as I'm finished with the beautification process here and the modification process in general. So thanks a lot for joining me again. In case you haven't followed me yet or haven't left me a like yet, I would very much appreciate if you did so. And now let's get started. So, yeah, I think it's about time to let the game run and see whether those two connections that I built here really add up and add some value to the whole new, well, it's not completely new, but it's kind of new cargo hub here, cargo airport. So I'm just speeding things up now so that I can see how the traffic evolves over time, but I think it should be fairly reasonable what I created here. I'm just wondering why those guys are not having enough power, and this might be just, oh, so that's all connected up to this here. So I'm just checking, is there a connection missing? Yeah, there's indeed a connection missing, which is something I'm very surprised about, because like I thought, no, this whole, like that connection should be enough for everyone, but now I'm crossing, like making the transition here. Yeah, and now it's all powering up, so I shouldn't have an issue there. So I'm not yet 100% sure whether like my setup regarding those stored resources, whether that really makes sense right now. But I will check and see and let things go a long way before I'm actually, yeah, there you can see it. So many trucks are currently coming in due to the fact that I set this here to balanced, and they were all, from my impression, coming up from here. Maybe not all of them, probably also some of them were coming from here. So hopefully that turns out to be not a bad decision over time. I still have some things to change here, like I don't want to have any traffic lights here, but there shouldn't be any other traffic lights sitting in this district, which is fine because I already removed most of them. So now trucks are coming in, even like those guys, like where are you folks? I'm coming from. Stop. Just to have to get an understanding like where those guys are coming from. And as far as I can tell, so they are going quite a long way, to be honest. Very long way. So they are coming from the Ramasaki industry, even from the Ramasaki industry down there, just to drop their things off in this location. But I think most likely things will slow down after a bit, because I can't imagine that like that load of trucks keeps going endlessly. So I think right now it's only about dropping things off because they are set to balanced. So that might be the reason why. And obviously, like here, this secondary train stop here, it's picking up goods, but it's also adding truck traffic to my whole thing here, which isn't bad. But maybe I'm just going to change one more setting here to make sure that like we don't have any pedestrians coming here. You can always move, and you can also always move. Same goes for this here, but U-turns are not allowed, obviously. So no pedestrians there. Move. And I think over here I also have to set this to no pedestrians. Move if you have to. Move if you have to. So what I absolutely liked is the way this like airport fence turns out to be. It's the first time I used one of those in one of my city builds, so that does look really nice. and they keep moving along here very well. So I think I won't run into too much traffic over time here. Over here it got a little bit slower with the incoming traffic. Over there I think this will sort itself out in just a tiny bit of time. And the only thing I wanted to take care of is actually this here, because that node does look a bit wonky on like both ends of it. Something seems to be not quite right here. Maybe it's just the transition between having a bridge and going back to no bridge or no elevated thing here. So I'm just deleting that for now. I'm picking up the three-lane highway again. And I want to make sure that I'm using this here with sound barriers, but maybe I should use it in the mode that the game intended it to be. Yeah. Probably also here doing the exact same thing. Yeah, I'm just moving things further out, so it doesn't really make a huge difference. Just going to change this, and it should be almost like it back at ground level here. And then obviously I have to change that here back to the right direction. You might be wondering whether this really does make sense with the warehouses. I'm not 100% sure yet about this, but there is one other thing I wanted that just came to my mind, to be honest, and this is maybe a detour coming from here back to over there, but it's a bit close to like the runway. I don't like this. It's a bit too close probably, but that should be fairly reasonable. And then obviously I want to have something like more or less, it's not 100% an up ramp, but it kind of adds to. So maybe like this here, up to 9, and then up to 14. I just want to change the slope here, because that looks fairly unreasonable, especially with the turning here. That does not look very well. And again, this, I want to change that to more like something like this here. So that should be fairly okay-ish. Obviously, again, checking whether there are traffic lights, and yes, there are. Then removing all the restrictions, not having any pedestrians here. And I think just for the sake of it, I'm wondering whether any car or any truck is using that, going back to some other place. So that should be no pedestrians. You can go, everybody can get going, but nobody's turning even right here, huh? No, actually nobody's turning right here. So the traffic no longer does have any issues there, but nobody seems to take that route, which is fair. It's fair. Sometimes you just have to check things out and see where you're going with this, but I think I can absolutely delete that road because it's not important for my traffic in this district at all, at least right now. It's not important at all. So I'm just thinking. I said, yeah, this is going to be mainly about redecorating this whole thing. Well, I didn't do a lot of decoration, but I included a couple of more things that might help me grow this to a bigger airport or kind of cargo hub in the future. It's already fairly big. I also set up a hospital, police station, a fire station, also the big ones, because you never know like what's gonna happen in one of those. Nearby an airport district, so you never know that. Obviously, like I wish I could add in another on and off ramp somewhere here, but I'm just thinking whether that's reasonable and whether I can't ask my trucks going far. Maybe I could do something. I'm just trying to see how far I can get with that and whether it's really an improvement. So I don't want to have like any industrial roads there. I'm just wondering, like, if I'm including a slip lane, let's say from here to there, and if I'm setting up another slip lane from here to there, it's not ideal. I know it doesn't look good. Not yet. I just want to check things out, and that's sometimes the way I'm testing things, to make sure that I'm not like making any major mistake in my city build. So I'm just doing something rough and dirty, and I honestly can assume that many other city builders are doing it in a similar way. I'm just not sure about this, but that's the way I think you should usually handle things, because it's all about trial and error in the end. Now I'm connecting this up back to the water network, because I want to make sure that I'm not running into any wastewater issues. It's connected back up here, all fine. Now I'm wondering who is using that slip lane at all. Is there anybody using it? And if so, who is using it? But I think it's probably not even interesting for them. Yeah, a couple of those are turning back. Yeah, it's not that unreasonable. So I'll leave it like that, at least for now. I'll change my settings here, because I don't want to have any pedestrians running through my industrial area, because that obviously wouldn't make sense. Then I do have that rule here. Everybody can go. Then I need to change my highway just out of lane mathematics reasons to a 2-lane here, back to a 3-lane, and I want to make sure that the lane connection here is set up properly, so that we are not causing anything like traffic, from a traffic perspective, anything stupid here. That should be fine. That's pure lane off ramp. That's going off, that's going on. That's pretty much it. Maybe I have to do the same thing Like over here, I never took care of that as far as I realize. Probably not, but it's always helpful to be a bit more precise with the game sometimes. So that does kind of help. Maybe it takes a little bit of traffic off the whole highway thing here. And there's something else I did. I tried to level out both bridges to some extent, because they, like, especially this far apart here going south, Taylor Bridge here, that was way below, what's the other bridge called, Max Bridge. So I wanted to level that out to make it look a bit more interesting, more reasonable. Yep. But I think that's okay. I'm just wondering what kind of extra, like an airport like this, does need. Operating normally. Customized tracks. I do have train cargo. So metro tracks. Yeah, obviously there are no metro tracks at all, which makes sense. There is no extension needed for the runway or things like that. It wouldn't really help. Wouldn't not be a benefit for that cargo station, cargo train hub. So what else do I need? The reason why I included that little square over there is that I wanted to give it a bit more of a feel like that it's kind of an industrial area, and I want to build this out here. I'm just setting that up as a regular district here, because there are no natural resources here, but I also want to limit like the dirtiness of that district to an absolute minimum if possible. So Hemlock Park is this new district, and now I'm checking like what can I, high ticket prices, non-profit, blah blah blah, automated sorting, yeah, taxation, so I can't do anything. What is that? High-tech housing, like heavy traffic ban, I don't want to have that. VIP, fast recovery, filter. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a try. Workers union, blah blah, industry 4.0. Okay, sustainable, airplane. I'm just thinking, so what can I do with that district? Commercial and industrial. I'll leave it like that, and I'll see what's coming up with that, and whether there's even something created over a shorter period of time, because currently, yeah, the first building is coming in. That's fine. So I'm very curious to see what kind of industries are building up here next to an airport. Whether it will be super dirty. Probably it will be. Like it's one dirty area next to my, or at least currently the only dirty industry that I have. And right now I also want to do something like soften the terrain ever so slightly, so the strength should be less, because that's what I did here is kind of I was pretty harsh with setting up the airport district at the very beginning of last episodes, or at the middle of last episode, even the episode before. So episode 31, I think it was pretty harsh with setting up an airport here first, completely ignoring landscaping and things like that. So I wanted to smooth things out ever so slightly so that it looks a bit more reasonable, a bit more natural, a bit more beautiful than it currently does, because right now it's sometimes we have those harsh edges and I actually don't need them. So I'm just softening things here ever so slightly. It's not a huge difference, but it is at least something. Now I want to check on my pollution. There will definitely be some pollution, some kind of pollution at least. Let me check and see. No? Really? How come? Maybe it's due to the fact that I introduced some Industry 4.0 buildings here. Not sure. Not 100% sure, but I think this is also reasonable to have those here, because that will probably, or most likely, ready to wear, print shop, garments, interesting. Best parts, print shop, another print shop. Best parts, whatnot, quality appliances. Yeah, interesting. Interesting to see that come to life here in Hemlock Park. And I assume I will create another road just down here and set up one dead-end road. Probably also another dead-end road here and one thing there. Just a little bit of a thing here. Then I will extend my water network, my water pipes here down to there. Then I'm slowly, I'm setting a couple of industry zones here, just to make sure that we have kind of a smoother transition between one and the other district here without getting too dense. And the fire department should cover literally everything, and it's also still covered by Hemlock Park, by the district here. Yeah, so it should be good. We should be fairly fine with that one. And again, I'm checking my pollution factor. Hopefully it doesn't build up over time. Yeah, it does, slowly. So there we have some pollution. Yeah, that's okay. Well, it is what it is. It's industry, and we don't have any other dirty industry at the moment. This is completely new in my town here. And why not have an industrial city as well next to a cargo airport? I think this completely makes sense. And maybe I should have... No, I don't need any commercial stores here. Not even low density. Dezoning not required. Yeah, so that's about it. Hopefully it's not too dirty, but I'll let things run now for a bit. And now I'm just checking back to my previous episode where I was able to finish the shoreline here. I'm just checking one of my main crossings that I had that really caused some problems with traffic, but now it looks absolutely nice. It's flowing. There is a lot of traffic going through here. That's completely fine. That's a bit bothering me, honestly. So cars charged last week 72, so I'm just making $72 out of this to slow down. No, I'm demolishing those structures here because it's not even worthwhile having those. And I'm using my curved mode tool here, connecting that up, and I'm also connecting like this up here. So that should be fine. So nobody should be slowing down any longer. And don't tell me that there is a traffic light sitting. Yeah, it's sitting there. I get that. The game does it not on purpose, not to annoy me here, but it's the way it is. There is a traffic light. There is none. There is one. There was one, to be precise. There is one. There seems to be one. All good. Their parking is allowed. That's nice. So that's all fine. That's all fine. That's okay. No problem here with that one. Just wondering whether I should run one road straight through there, maybe one down there. Not sure yet. I'm not 100% sure yet what I'm doing with that part of town anyway. So probably I'll just leave it like that for now. So yeah, in that case, I definitely want to thank you for joining me again today. My episode here that was mainly about my cargo airport hub, if it's kind of a hub. But right now it's becoming more and more something like a hub because I set up a lot of more warehouses here. I have introduced a small industrial zone here that kind of filled up already completely, at least based on the zonings that I provided them with, but it's not too dense and I won't grow it that much, I think, over time. Probably, I'm not sure, because initially I wanted to like populate all that with residentials, but honestly at the moment I'm not sure about that. I guess I leave it like that here because there's still so much room to grow like a high density downtowny area here. And I would say that's about it. I think this whole district turns out quite nicely. All my highways are connected. The connections are working. Everything seems to be fine. Just one more thing that I'm going to check, and I think I assumed I already took care. Yeah, it's kind of a graphic glitch here. I thought like the game, yeah, over here you can see it. It's kind of a graphic glitch. It shows me that I have pedestrian crossings here, but no, I definitely don't. So it's a glitch, but that's something I can work with. And of course, I want to discourage parking here. Are you nuts? So that's the last thing I'm going to do here. Let's just set it up properly. So no parking here, no parking there. And obviously no parking below the bridge. And I'm wondering, like, this is industrial anyway, no parking is allowed. And I think even there, no parking is allowed. So all good. It was just a bit shocking here, but that's fine. Okay, thank you very much. Have a good one. And in case you haven't followed me yet, please consider doing that. And if you want to leave me a comment, leave me a like. I'd be more than happy if you could join me here and leave me a comment. I'm more than happy to answer those. And yeah, hopefully see you next time in my next video, in my next episode of me playing Springvalley here. Thank you very much. Have a good one. Bye bye.